And there's one guy who I think is making a pretty good case for himself, and that's Luka Doncic. He's been playing at a very, very high level. After the Mavericks traded away Kristaps Porzingis, they're on a 3-game winning streak. They have wins against the Lakers. They have wins against Golden State at home. And he's been looking great. It's been another near triple-double season for him. He's a guy that we've gotten used to being like 28 a game or over, and then he's getting like 8 assists and 9 rebounds a game. Dallas this season has a top 10 defense, or has a top 5 defense and a top 10 offense. And we've never seen a Mavericks team dominate this well on both ends. It's either been one or the other for them. They've either been great offensively and okay defensively, but this season they're excelling in both areas, and that's really great to see. So shout out to Luka, and also shout out to Jason Kidd for getting this team right.
Yeah. My only thing with the Mavericks team is I would take them way more seriously if I felt like they didn't depend so much on Luka on the offensive end. That's my only problem.
Yeah, that's true. And I was going to ask you guys, like, their rankings are pretty good. Their numbers are great. They're well over the 500 mark. I feel like usually around this time, under the Luka era over the last couple of years, we'd see them around that 500 mark, but right now they're well over it. Do you guys believe in this team at all when it comes to making a run out in the Western Conference? Or do you think this is going to be another season to where they're first rounding out? Because I really think a lot of it's going to come down to, do they have guys around Luka who are going to get things done? And so you look at the addition of Spencer Dinwwiddie, and me and Carl talked about this the other day. He's looked great over his last couple of games in the Mavericks uni. He was a big part of that 30-point comeback against Golden State. I remember you texting me like, "Oh, but Dinwiddie's going off." You know how much I've been criticizing him all season. But he's been stepping it up. So if we can get a consistent Spencer Dinwiddie who can give you like 18 to 20 a game, and we can get Jalen Brunson doing what he's doing, and Tim Hardaway Jr. back and playing healthy, and him getting his efficiency up, what do you think the ceiling is for this Dallas Mavericks team at this point? Second round, Blake?
I'd say second round, because I think it's kind of going to be a repeat of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seeing how they just ran everything through Luka, and once he got tired, it just kind of fell off.
But like I said, wouldn't it be? Would you expect it to be any different though now that they have a Dinwiddie or they have a Jalen Brunson, or do you not trust those guys just yet as like second and third options in the West in the playoff series?
Yeah,
no.
Especially Dinwiddie. This is his first season coming off of the ACL, so I don't think so.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson, he's a good young player, but it's just like we're in the playoffs, especially the West. Maybe you can get away with it in a little bit in the East the first couple of rounds, but then when you're in the West, every round to me, you're going to need that second star like type of player, and they don't have it.
Yeah, you even need it. You'll definitely need it in the East, especially this season too. So it's
especially this season you'll need that. But I'm just saying they just don't have that. They have players that are role players that are like maybe above a role player role, but they're below superstardom.
Yeah,
clearly. So that's you need if you're going to go far in the playoffs, you need that second star. At least.
Yeah. And I think it all really just comes down to how much. I think it all is going to, I mentioned it before like a couple of times, but it's going to come right back to Dinwiddie. It depends on how much we trust him as a player. We knew that what Dallas needed to do was get another shot creator around Luka. Porzingis just wasn't that guy. There just wasn't a world where Porzingis, I think, was going to be used at his absolute best in Dallas. And so they moved him away. At first, I wasn't big on the trade for the Wizards. And for the Mavs, it was kind of weird, but then you kind of like put everything into context. They do have another guy who can go out there and create shots. He was a little bit of a gamble, Spencer Dinwiddie was, because of how he played in Washington. But we're seeing him now. We're seeing possessions where Luka will get locked up late in the shot clock and he'll give it to Dinwiddie, and Dinwiddie can facilitate or can knock down those shots late shot clock. So as I said, it all really comes back. It comes all the way back to how much do we trust Spencer Dinwiddie as a second option for Luka? And I think his tryout's been pretty good so far. But as you guys mentioned, the playoffs are an entirely different story.
Yeah, it's almost like you said, because with the Wizards, let's be honest, he played, because I didn't even really notice, he played pretty badly. With the Wizards. So it's just like you gambling him for a dude that's averaging like between 16 and 18 points in Porzingis, and you're gambling for him. It was like confusing. And it's still, even though he's been playing good, it's still kind of confusing because I don't know how long that's going to last, because I don't know if I just trust Spencer Dinwiddie in that role.
And I think you mentioned Porzingis. Porzingis' point production may be better, but as I said, I don't think what Porzingis does in the regular season is sustainable for a playoff series when you need shot creators. Porzingis has never been a shot creator. I mean, he has been. He's never been a shot creator in Dallas, and he's never been a reliable source of offense for them when they really need it. That's just a fact. I mean, he's been 20 a game pretty much every season, but it's never really translated to the playoffs. And also, granted, there were playoff series where we didn't even see him play at all as a whole. You know what I mean? So I think that's what you get at Dinwiddie because you like him as a shot creator a lot more. The production may not be there relative to a Porzingis, but as I said, it's a matter of how much you trust him, in that role, and we'll kind of see what happens. But overall, I think Luka, it does look like at points in time he's carrying this team, and then he's carrying the solidity. As I said, top 10 offense and the top 5 defense. He's stepped up defensively too. That's something we have to commend him for. And I think he's put himself well within that top 10 of the MVP conversation, maybe 6 or 7. I think right now, people are going to hate me that I say it, but I think he's got a better argument than Steph right now for MVP, if you're asking me. Yeah, I think so.
I think so, kind of considering Steph kind of fell off these last couple.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like a hot take or nothing like that. Because Steph has first half of the season, Steph was, for me, probably my unanimous MVP just for that first season or first half of the season. But now he's kind of just kind of cooled off a little bit. So
I think people just need to realize sometimes shit like that isn't like sustainable because he was doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of expected Steph to have like a little bit of a fall off to like maybe in the MVP rank is probably like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like he was doing a lot, like he was scoring 30 and almost like 40 a night to keep in Golden State like afloat and getting them to the number 1 seed before they drop below Phoenix.
Yeah.
So that's not crazy to say Luka is over him because I probably think Luka's right at like 5 or 6 on my MVP ranking list.
Yeah. Let me look at the NBA's MVP ladder at this point. So I mean, like I said, I think this is his best. Like he's always been in that conversation, but I think this season is where he has his best argument. You know what I mean? Because you got the whole thing where, as I said, regular season wise, I think this is one of the better Mavericks. I mean, from a statistical standpoint, this is one of the better regular seasons I think we've seen him put up. Just because of the defense and offense thing. And I think Jason Kidd's doing a great job. And for him to be at the forefront of all of that, even with guys being in and out of the lineup, like I mentioned, Porzingis has been in and out. Tim Hardaway Jr., they've been missing him over the last couple. And even when he's been healthy, he's been sub 40%. He's been very inefficient. And it's funny because as I always mention with Tim Hardaway Jr., me and Carlos talk about how much we thought his contract extension was going to be worth last season. And then now we look at him now and he wasn't worth as much as we thought he was. We thought he was like 25 mil. And then it's like
I told y'all that y'all are bringing out them exorbitant prices. I'm like,
I mean, but we were just looking at the games he was having versus the Clippers. I think that was a series where he was just like having like 30-point. He had a couple 30-point games that made you kind of think, this dude might be worth 25 million. But I don't know. I still kind of look back as do you think the Mavericks tried to get Caris LeVert? Like, do you think there was a possibility of them trying to get him?
I think they made calls for it. I think they probably did. And the question would be, that's an interesting question to ask. I mean, I don't want to like just drown on what Dinwiddie's doing because he still has a lot more to show. And but
I was just asking.
Interesting question would be, would you trust Caris LeVert in this role? I mean, we talk about our trust with Dinwiddie. Would you if you don't trust Spencer Dinwiddie in this role right now, would you trust Caris LeVert over Dinwiddie?
Oh yeah, I would.
I think so because LeVert is probably more of a polished scorer. Not polished. That's not the right word. Proven.
This year he's more polished.
I think he is.
That's tough. I can see that. I feel like as far as shot creation, I feel like they're on the same tier to the point where I wouldn't even really see much of a difference. And I think the one thing that puts Dinwiddie over the top is his ability to play make. I don't trust LeVert as a playmaker relative to a Dinwiddie. You know what I'm saying? I think as far as you put him on tiers, as far as like shot creating and all of that, I think they're pretty much on that same level.
Yeah. I'm just basing off what I've seen this year. I've seen Caris LeVert have a far better season than Spencer Dinwiddie. So that's what I'm basing off of, really. Yeah. Now, before Spencer Dinwiddie's injury, that you hand in hand, neck and neck.
Very true.
I'm basing off this year. But I didn't mean to steer away from that.
No, you're good. You're good. So let's check this out. So I talked about Luka's MVP case. So let me name a bunch of guys who are over him. And I'm going to ask you guys if he has a better case than these guys. And this is based off the NBA's current MVP ladder. Okay. So they have Steph at 5. Does Luka have a better? We talked about that. Does Luka have a better case than Steph? We can argue that he does. I think at this point of the season he does. So that's out of the way. Devin Booker. Does Luka have a better case than Devin Booker?
Yes, no. I think he does.
That's tough, Blake. Why not? That because it is tough.
No, Devin Booker. I saw. I think Devin Booker himself. He posted a stat. I think it was a run of like 15, 16, 17, 18 games. I think they went like 16-2, 17-2, something like that. Almost every game except for 2 of them, he was their leading scorer. So I think what he's doing.
I would guarantee that stat would be true for Luka though too.
Yeah. I don't know if they're really kind of.
I know, but still, I like what CP's doing. But Booker, he's still even when CP was out for those couple of games, it was only Booker, like the only real star there left out.
Even now, because CP's still out, and I think Booker right now mentioned
he's in health and safety.
Yeah. Like right
those
now,
couple of games that Booker played without Chris, he's balling.
He's going to have a chance to increase his case too because of like Chris Paul being out for this amount of time, and if he can keep him afloat at top of the West, I think he's going to continue to make his case better. But Luka over Booker, I'll give it to Luka. It's tough because Phoenix, you have to do the whole thing where Phoenix is the best team in the NBA. At least I think record-wise they may be. And he's the best player on that team, and also Chris Paul's not there for a minute, not going to be here for a minute. So I think I think Booker's got probably a slightly better argument than Luka at this point. The guy who's on 7th on his list is John Morant. I don't think Luka's got a better case than John. Yeah, he's 7 on the MVP ladder right now.
Whoa,
that's too low.
And I don't. The question is, does he have a better case? This may be an older. Does Luka have a better case than Ja? And the answer to that is no, not at all.
Yeah, no. Josh should at least be top 3. Yeah, at the least.
Let me see who else here is on this ladder. So nope, not a better case than Ja. So then Chris Paul sitting at 8. He's got a better, or Luka sitting at the 8th spot. He's got a better case than Chris Paul and Jim Butler. So yeah, I think I'll put Luka maybe as high as 6 or 7. If I were to make my own ladder, I think I'll put him as high as that. Like I say, he's got the story. He's doing the whole thing. I don't want to say he's carrying the team right now. I don't want to say that at all. Because they did get solid pieces around him, and there are guys he can kind of fall back on. But he does have a heavy load, and he's doing a great job at delivering. So shout out to Luka. I do think this is his best MVP case over the course of his career, though. And he's been amazing in his 4 years of play so far. So shout out to him.
Yep. I'm just worried this Mavs team is gonna become like a LeBron and Cavaliers team.
Think so?
That's like the old LeBron Cavaliers team where he didn't have bums around him or anything. He had nice.
Well, LeBron, those first couple years, LeBron did have some.
He did, but they were nice.
Except for Larry. When did Larry Hughes get there?
Maybe I don't remember, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think LeBron first couple years, he has some nobodies on that team.
Yeah. Luka's had some somebodies. Luka's had some somebodies.
Yeah. He just had nice role players that some of them became good. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping sooner or later he gets that second star on his team, so where we can kind of mention him in a conversation as the greats one day in terms of winning championships. Because without that, he's never going to win one. You need that.
And I think he's on his way. He's on his way.
And I think Dallas is attractive. Yeah, and I think Dallas is is attractive enough to go get a big free agent without a doubt. Like I wouldn't be surprised if somebody went over there. They have the cap space. Like a big reason to moving out Porzingis was opening up that cap space. So you can go get a big free agent over the summer to pair along with Luka and then make something happen. So I think they're in a great spot. I think they made the right decision by getting rid of Carlisle, as Carl always mentions. I used to mention with Carlisle, getting him out of there. I think I questioned the Porzingis thing, but now you look at it from a cap space standpoint. They can go make more moves and all of that in the offseason. So, I think solid stuff all around. They did pick up that Davis Bertans contract, which I'm not a fan of at all. So we'll see what he does for them, as the season moves on. But,
Davis.